Hi, and thank you for watching us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and cover other important aspects of working for yourself and your self-employment. Today, I'm going to talk about how to register as a CIS subcontractor. And before I do, if I could please ask you to take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll easily be able to refer back to this information if you need to, as well as being able to find other information that we have available in order to support you with your self-employment, all of which is itemized within our playlist. So for example, today we're talking about CIS, so presumably the audience is working within the CIS field. So if you look for our playlist for CIS, then you should find other information specifically aimed at you. So back then to how do you register as a CIS subcontractor? So you are working as a self-employed contractor, being contracted by somebody else to carry out work. So it's important to mention at this stage that an important thing to consider is the actual nature of the relationship between you and the person that is contracting your services, to make sure that actually you should be working as a self-employed person, and that you should be registering as a CIS subcontractor, and that actually you shouldn't be employed by the person that's contracting you. So that's an important thing to for you to bear in mind. So if you're only if you're only working for one person, and they are in essence able to sort of dictate where you work and the work that you do, then you need to look into more detail whether you should be employed by the person that's contracting you, and look into the legislation surrounding IR35. I'll pop in the description a link to a tool on gov.uk, which helps you to be able to identify that this actually is the correct relationship. So on then to you've sort of gone through that process, and you know that yes, you are a CIS subcontractor. It is important that you do register as a CIS subcontractor, because part of how the scheme operates is that the person that's contracting you is required to deduct a set percentage of what they pay you for your labour, and that gets paid on account to your HMRC self-assessment account. And then at the end of the tax year, when you do your tax return, then your that what they have deducted comes off of the liability, and if too much has been deducted, you get any overpayment refunded. So if you are registered as a CIS subcontractor, as a sole trader, then your deductions are likely to be the standard rate of 20%. If you haven't registered, then the contractor will be required to deduct 30% until such time that you do register. And for any time that they are deducting 30%, they will not be able to backdate that once you are registered, so you will have to wait until your tax return is completed. So it is important that you register. Although you would get any overpaid tax back, there clearly is a cash flow issue in having the higher rate of tax deducted. So if you're a sole trader, then before you can actually be register yourself as a subcontractor, you will actually need to be registered as a self-employed sole trader. So we talk about that in more detail in another video, which I will pop pop a link in the description for you if you need that detail too. But in essence, it's important to complete the process of registering as a sole trader, registering for self-assessment if applicable, and also registering for self-employed national insurance. So once you've done that, you'll know that that's done because you'll have received what is known as a UTR, which is your unique tax reference number. So it's similar in some ways to a national insurance number in that it's unique to you, and once you're issued it, you keep the same number, whereas the national insurance number is used for the PAYE system. Your UTR number is what you'll use for the self-assessment system. So once you've got your UTR number, then you're in a position to actually be able to register as a CIS subcontractor. So you can either do this online, or you can simply phone the helpline and the CIS helpline with your UTR number and process that. So what will happen then is once you have registered as a CIS subcontractor, the person that is contracting you will verify you through their own HMRC CIS account, and they will be then presented by HMRC with the deduction level that they need to make from you. So if they come back to you and say that they need to deduct at 30%, it means that you haven't correctly completed your registration for CIS. So if you go back and do that and ask them to re-verify you, then that should all be okay. And there are some instances where if you carry out a lot of construction work through the CIS scheme, then it may be that you would be eligible to apply for gross status, which effectively means that no tax would be deducted through the CIS scheme. And that, of course, would mean then that you would need to pay all of your liability when you did your self-assessment tax return, because no payments on account would have been made. If you feel that you may be eligible or you would like to look at the gross status, so you're looking at currently an amount of construction work of £30,000 plus a year, then I'll pop the link in the description so you can explore fully the criteria for the exemption status. So hopefully this helps. So to register as a CIS subcontractor, that's what you're registering for. You're the one that's subcontracting to the contractor. You're the one that's getting paid by the contractor. So just double check that it is correct that you are engaged in that way. If you're a sole trader, that it's correct and that you shouldn't be an employee, sorry. So you need to make sure, if you're a sole trader, that you've already registered as self-employed. If you're a limited company, you'll already have your UTR number. And then once you've done that, then you need to register as a CIS subcontractor, and if applicable, look at the gross status. So hopefully that helps explain what you need to do to register if you're operating in the CIS scheme and you're operating as a subcontractor, and also that you understand the importance that you do register. So thank you very much for watching. Please, as I mentioned before, please do take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Goodbye.